Hello guys, so I get a lot of emails asking me what kind of torches do I use for my heated colors, right? Actually, I have quite a few torches that I use for my heated colors. I guess aside from flashlights, I'm really into lighters and torches. Okay, so I have a little collection and I actually use all of them for different applications. In this video, I won't talk, if I have time, I'll talk a little bit about how I do the heated colors, but yeah, let me just show you guys all the torches first. How about that? All right, so primarily I use this Bernzomatic tank right here, and here's the screw-on nozzle, and here's the important part. Let me see what model this is. This is the 1732, okay? It's very simple. Just turn the valve, and then press, squeeze, and you get fire. It's a decent one. It's not real good, okay? Not highly wind resistant. Let's see how wind resistant it is. It's pretty good, but when I use this outside, once in a while, the wind will blow out the fire. So it's a good cheapy one. I think it's around 15, 20 bucks. Simple, compact, does the job, okay? Just turn the nozzle. There you go. Self-ignite, built-in igniter. However, here is the more professional one that I used. You can see it's quite a bit larger. This is the also Bernzomatic TS8000. Okay, and if I'm not mistaken, this thing is it's almost $100, at least $80 to $100. It's a really high quality part, and I believe is made in USA. Okay. I'm not sure what this part is made in. It says Taiwan on it. So, yeah. Taiwan, you know, it's pretty good still. A lot cheaper, 15 bucks versus almost $100. So, you get what you pay for. But I kind of like this still just because it's relatively compact. Okay, I'm not sure if this will all be in frame, but you can see this one right here is dramatically bigger. However, it has some cool features, all right? That one right here, this one's simple, but this one has some really nice feature. Okay, let me show you guys on video here if I can. I turn the nozzle. Nope, you don't turn the nozzle. Okay, you turn the nozzle, and then you just press this button. So it's just one click, and it turns it on automatically. Right, and although the valve are not closed, you don't have any leakage. Just that's it. So it's very convenient, right? For me at least. When I need to heat treat the colors, I just press, squeeze, do my thing, let go. I can just set it down. However, it's strongly advised that you would close the valve when you're not in use. That way, if you press on the button, it won't work. But the cool thing is, even if you turn on the valve, there's no leak. And if you press, it goes on. And you can tell this one has a much stronger fire. You probably can't see it on video, but the fire is probably out to like that far. It's like six inches of fire. A very nice torch. The only thing I don't like is it's a little bit bulky. Here's another feature. If you squeeze the button here, okay, let me turn it down. This thing is really aggressive. All right, so you turn it on, right? And if you press down this button, you let this button go, it'll stay on, right? And if you soft press, it'll turn off. I really like that feature where you don't have to turn the valve, have leak, have the gas escape, and then turn it on. And then you have to physically close the valve for it to turn off. That's what I don't really like, but you get the compactness of the head. This one, squeeze and go. So it's kind of like a gun. It's pretty cool. Just boom, boom. Turn it off, and it's relatively safe. And if you close the valve, and right here you see that it says on off. If you turn this ring here, this button here, this trigger to off, now you can't activate it at all. So that would be the safest mode of use. I don't, you know, I guess it's kind of back practice, but I oftentimes don't close the valve. I just leave the valve open, but then I'll just turn this and put it into a stand that I have. And the stand is relatively safe, at least for my personal use. I don't recommend that. I do recommend closing the valve and locking the light. But yeah, for me, I think just locking it is good enough. I don't close the valve all the time. At least not when I know I'm going to be using it over and over again. So here's what I recommend for really heavy, long runtime, professional use. Okay. Recently though, I tried to go towards the micro torch route because I prefer something a little smaller. I can just sit on my desk and do my fine things. And once in a while, I don't need a fire that large because in order to tame the fire or the colors in certain ways, we'll talk about that in a little bit, how to control the heat. But in order for, I need variable heat, more precise heat, and I want a micro torch where it's a little bit easier to work with and not on top of just controlling the heat. Size is very important. I just don't have a lot of space. You guys have seen my workshop. It's a complete mess. So I went on eBay and I grabbed, I would say, quite a few adapters. You know those propane tanks, the longer one where you propane. I think it's propane. No, it could be butane. Propane or butane, I'm not sure, but those it's the little halves that yay big size, 8 ounces, 8 or 10 ounces, and it you use it in a gas stove. Like a lot of Asians have it, okay? Because we what do we use it for? We use it for hot pot. That's what we use it for. Yeah, if you go to Boiling Point, you see. I don't know if you know Boiling Point, but it's a Korean. Actually, no, I'm sorry, Taiwanese hot pot place, and they use those stove. Okay. Do they? No, they don't. They use the candle. Must be at different Asian places that use the propane tank. Sorry, I'm going off in a tangent. Let's get back on subject here. So, but what I'm trying to say is those 8.8 ounce or 10 ounce propane tank, they're really nice and they hold a good amount of fuel. And there's these top that you can just twist onto them, and they work really well. You can get them on eBay for like $12, and they work really well. Sorry, I don't have one here to show you, but they twist right onto the tank. The issue is they don't last very long, and they last me maybe 2 weeks. So I just steer clear. They'll work great for you, but right after the 30 days that you're allowed to return something, they'll break. So I highly recommend that you steer clear from those. And they're not really safe. The fire is very irregular, and if you hold it at certain angles, you have large amount of flamethrower splitting out of it. And I've replaced maybe 2, 3. I like them a lot when they work, when they're new, but the valve are just terrible, and the O-rings on it, they leak, and it's just really terrible. Sometimes you can't really fully tighten it. So I gave these micro, and they're kind of large because the tank is about that big. So I went ahead and get into micro torches. Okay, so this is what people refer to as a micro torch. I did heat treatment on this head just for show, and they work. It works all right. It's not very reliable. At least the ones that are like $30 or cheaper. I got this for like $15. So, what is this? The Expert Flame handheld professional torch. I do not recommend it. All right, I have to fix it like twice already. I have to take it apart and refit everything. So, and the fire is just really bad. And look at the valve. You have to listen, okay? So it didn't turn on the gas. There were no gas escape until like several turns. So that's half turn. That's another half turn. So it doesn't turn. Gas doesn't actually go out until 1.5 turns, and that's just a pain in the butt. And you can see the fire is just not. This gets the job done. This not so much, because the flame is just not intense. And by the time it brings out the color, it'll just heat up the whole thing and blow out all the colors. So not exactly great for my personal use, all right? But it works, it's all right, it's just not reliable. And it takes forever to turn on and off. Look at this, right? Look, if I turn it halfway, nothing really comes out. A little bit of flame, and it doesn't really come out until you have to really further, you have to like turn it like 1.5 turn for it to like, you know, get any usable fire. So it's all right, it works. It's just not that great, right? So lately, I'm like, you know what? Forget it. I'm just gonna get something really high quality. So I saw this thing on Amazon. Big Shot, it's by Blazers, okay? Big Shot GT 8000. This thing is a freaking dream, and yeah, obviously you can't see it on video, but it's just a lot heftier than the cheap eBay ones over here. I got this for 15 bucks. This with tax and everything is about $50. All right, I think it's $41. Yeah, no, with tax and everything, it's about $45. So that's an excellent value. And look at it. It says Blazer made in Japan, and that's what it looks like. And it's just really nice heft to it. There is a plastic insert here in the back, and you can actually see the amount that you fill. So that's kind of cool. I like tanks that this one here has a window here that you can see the fuel. This one you can see it in the back, so that's really neat. And you can tell this thing is just hefty and it's just nice quality. I guess Japanese people don't make junk, and this one is a really nice product. Again, I took the what do we call this? This is for the sake of it. Let's call this the bezel. Okay, I took the bezel off, and I did some AHC. By the way, a lot of people ask me what HC and AHC stand for. HC stand for heated colors, and AHC stand for, the A stands for abrasions or artistic. Okay, at least it's artistic to me, maybe not B to you. But yeah, so here I did some AHC work on here, and for this particular bezel, I can only achieve this kind of look with a very strong heat. Okay, actually, let's talk about that in a little bit. Let's talk about the torch itself. Let me show you guys. Let me just turn it on and demonstrate the difference between a budget and a nice quality Blazer torch. Okay. Oh, if you see my logo on it, it's just a sticker that I put on because I thought it's pretty cool. And these comes in different colors too. Man, I'm acting like I'm the sell reps for Blazer, but this is a really nice one. I've only had it for maybe a week, so and so far I've did a ton of projects with it already, and it's just really, really nice. I like black, so I can put on my own sticker on here. And I think the HC color work on the bezel here just looks really nice. All right, so this one's really simple. It's just you turn the valve here, and the cool thing is, there you go, just a tiny bit is already on. You can hear it. See that? You don't have to like turn a 1.5 turn in order for you to get anything here. So very easy. Turn on, then you press the switch here. Bam! And look at the fire. You won't see it on video, but it's like freaking that long. Look at that. Oh. So nice. All right, let me just show you guys that again a little bit, just a little bit, and it'll turn right on. And the flame on it, oh man, really, really strong flame. The only thing I don't like about the Blazer 8000, GT 8000 is you can't really control the flame. You turn on and you get just that. You can't really dim it down all that much. Just a tiny bit. There you go. That's the smallest it'll go, like that big. So it's not a really fine-tuned fire, but really, really nice. I like that a lot, and it's super reliable so far, and it feels really high quality. Okay, let me turn both on so you guys can see the difference in the fire, and maybe I'll just go turn off the light also. You know what? Actually, I'll do the night beam shot after I show you a couple of more torches. How about that? All right, that way we can just turn off the light and I'll show you guys all of it at once. So highly, highly recommend this torch if you need a torch for any kind of use. Blazer GT 8000, okay? And if you want to, you can also get one from me, okay? With my sticker, and if you want a specially designed bezel here, you can, all right? But yeah, you can get these on Amazon for like 45 bucks with tax. So that's that. All right, so I found that Blazer, so I love it, and I was like, Blazer is just the shit. All right, got to get another one. So this is Blazer. What's the model? I think it's the GB. I just memorized it. It doesn't say on here, but I know it's the GB2001. That's the model number, and this thing is kind of like a delicate, smaller micro torch. So this one is even better for me, for my use. I can just sit this on my desk, get my work done, control the fire really finely. It's expensive though. This thing's like $55 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's smaller, but it's more pricey. They're both made in Japan, so very high quality. 55, 45, and this thing is also a really nice tool. So let me show you how it works real quick. You turn the valve. I love it how on these blazers you just turn a little bit and you get instant fire. Okay, and there's this ring here. If you turn this ring, it will let a certain amount of air. It'll control the amount of oxygen to vary the intensity of the fire. So if you turn this and let more air escape, you get this really strong fire. Obviously, nowhere near the big one, but it's still really nice. I really like this for the fine-tuned fire. And if you turn the ring here, you can actually bring it down to a regular fire. And you can control the fire so finely that it'll light just like a candle. And just to test the crap out of these, because these were expensive, and they claim that you can run them continuously, non-stop, and I didn't do that. I did it for like 15 minutes, and I was like, you know what, it's still good. I'm wasting fuel, so I'm kind of cheap. So I turned it off. But after 15 minutes, it ran fine. Just the front torch portion was hot. Just the bezel portion was hot. The body was fine. So yeah, I wouldn't dare to leave this thing on for half an hour. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I don't want to waste $15, so I'd rather just not. Okay. But these really, really nice. Turn the ring, press this button, you get really nice fire, and then you control the fire with this ring. The control the amount of oxygen to vary the fire with this ring here, and it's just really nice. I love this little torch. So both of these really serves my purpose well nowadays. I don't really use this big one anymore unless I have something that's just huge. But yeah, I don't really use these as much anymore. But for heavy duty use, still the go-to one. Okay. This is the go-to one for me for now. All right. So one more torch, just a toy, but I find it to be very nice. This is the Eagle torch. Okay. You can find this at gas station or on eBay for like $5. You get what you pay for. It's not super high quality, but it works really well. This one's made in China, and it works very well. Okay, you get a really small fire. It's not that bad. I've taken one apart and I've mod the I don't recommend you doing it, but I'm just saying that you can make the fire a little larger if you want, like 25-50% larger. It'll come out to like, right now it's out to like that far. Maybe an inch. You can make it an inch and a half, almost 2 inch. If you take this apart and change the amount of escape gas here, all right. So yeah, it has some potential to make it a real torch, but it is what it is. Cheap plastic, works so far. I got like 5 of these, and I haven't broken any yet. I got one problematic one out of the 4 that I got, and I have to take it apart and fix it a couple of times, but for the most part they're pretty good, and they're cheap. They're $5, so that's, you know, they work, right? Instant ignition also. You can also turn it on and then press the lock button and it'll stay on, or if you just put lock, you can't really use it. So that's kind of cool. You can have it on. Believe it or not, I use this small one here to desolder LEDs on some. For example, if I do LED swap on the Nightcore C2VN, because the MC PCBs have wires that runs through it, unless you take the whole entire light apart, you have to take the wires away from the switch. You can't remove the copper MC PCBs. It's just in there. So one easy way to swap the LEDs is to prop them up, the copper MC PCBs, and use one of these torch. But you got to know what you're doing. You don't want to be, you know, burning the wires in there. So you got to aim it at a certain angle, and then it'll heat it up enough that you can just remove the LED. But too much heat will hurt the LED. So you got to know what you're doing, okay? But definitely, I have used these to desolder LEDs and mount LEDs on some applications. Low heat, okay? Not too much. All right, so yeah, I'm into torch. I'm into lighters, and I have a few more, but they're not really relevant to torches and heated colors, so I didn't bring them out. All right, highly recommend this Big Shot GT8000. This is a really nice, elegant toy for me. I don't use this as much, but as the GT8000, but it's a really nice, kind of a cool toy to have. All right, and I love it how it's nice, fine quality. I always prefer quality over price for the most part if I can afford it. All right. So all right, let's see if we can do how we can do this safely. All right. Okay, let's see if we can do that. And I'm gonna go turn out the light so you can kind of see what it looks like. Let's do this in a safe manner. Okay. So you can kind of compare the fire. All right, let me go check it out. So there you go. You can already see, hey, this one's not on. There you go. You can kind of see that this gives a really good representations of all of the fire intensity here. And you can tell the big shot is just whooping ass. Look at that. Really nice. And yeah, I'm not too worried about the front of the nozzle turning red. It would stay red, but it's totally safe. All right, and yeah, you can see this little cheap $5 one here. Keep on trying to go out. So that's just that. It's not really meant for constant on. All right, let me go show you guys the big torch. Is that better? Nope, that's not. You won't be able to see anything. All right, there we go. Okay, so here is the Taiwan compact head on the Bernzomatic. All right. Pretty good. Not as good as the big shot, in my opinion. You can see the big shot is just intense for how small it is. Alright? So, here is the real deal right here. The big one. Woo! Look at that. Alright, now let's compare. Let's put this away. God. All this fire all at once. Doesn't look very safe. Alright, so let's put these a little farther away. Okay, so, all right, so now let's do the big shot versus this. The big shot actually has a more finer fire, and look, oh my God. You know, the big shot really holds up on its own. Woo. I'm in love with this big shot. But, you know, real deal, real work, heavy duty, you can't beat this. All right, so that's that. Woo. I guess you never knew I'm into fire so much, right? And yeah, this little one is already acting up after several minutes. So let's just turn it off before it go crazy. I don't really trust it. So here are the two blazers, the Big Shot GT8000 and the GB2001. And these two are just Dream micro torches, okay? All right, guys, that's that for the video. Enjoy. Oh, I'm going to talk a little bit about heated colors. I forgot about that. All right, give me a second. You know what? I don't know. Maybe I should do that in a different video. Nah, I'll just do it now. I'll just do it now. All right. Whew. For a minute there. It was kind of nerve-wracking with all the fire going on. You don't want this to shoot at another tank and just go boom. All right, so here's an example. Here's a really good example of how I do heated colors. You can see here on this particular bezel here, nozzle, bezel. Let's just call it bezel since we started calling it bezel. You can see that it varies in color. There's purple in the middle, and then there's two gold rings, and then on the side of it, it's kind of lighter blue. So here's what you got to do. The colors reveal themselves really nicely when the surface is polished. It oxidizes better when you get the colors because of the because it oxidizes. The color shows nicer. I guess it. How should I say this? Comes out more vividly on shinier surface or on surface that that has abrasion to them, because when you have abrasion added to a surface, it's kind of like a mirror angle. I don't know how you say it, you know. How should I say this? But you know, you kind of get it, right? It's kind of like when you have abrasion, really sharp abrasions added to a surface. That's kind of like a sharp polished edge, and it retains the color. And on top of that, when you have this groove that goes into the metal that has the abrasion grooves, the color will stay in it, and it will just retain itself. It won't get rubbed off because it's into the groove. So I like to add different form of abrasions, artistic abrasions, into metal, into titanium or stainless, and that way it will retain some of the colors, and I think it looks kind of cool to some extent. All right, matte finish definitely don't bring out heated colors very well. So for this particular one here, I did the abrasion first, and then I did a polish over the surface, okay, and then I do the heated colors. So you can see here there it varies in colors. The edges of the bezel here will always heat up before the middle part. Simple, all right? That's thermodynamics. Colors will usually turn gold first. Gold is the first color that comes up, and then purple, and then blue, and then if you hold it for too long, you get baby blue, and if you hold it for really, really long, you will start to lose all the colors. All right, so gold, purple, blue, baby blue, and then you lose all the color. All right, so in order to get it to have varying colors but not dilute the whole entire thing, for this particular bezel, I heat the center of the bezel first. All right, you want to heat the center of the bezel first. That way, because it takes the longest to heat up, so you want to heat it around the bezel, and you don't want to hold the fire to it the whole time. You got to keep on spinning it around. You got to evenly heat the bezel or the surface of the metal all around. That way, you have it evenly heated, and then it'll initially turn gold, and that's when you know you got to stop. Okay, you got to stop there, because if you want it to turn purple, by the time you work on the edges, the edges will suck some of that heat into the middle part, and it will transform the color of the midsection. So you would I would heat the center portions to gold, the very first color, and then I'll do the edges. I'll do the edges to, like, say, by the time I get the edges to like purple, the center portion will automatically turns itself into purple. Does that make any sense? So the gold, the center section from gold, would turns itself into purple when I do just the rim out here of the bezel with its first initial color in gold. And then but I don't want the outer ring in gold. I want it to be blue, which is the last color, all right, before you lose all the colors. So I would want to hit the fire just at the edges and not on top of the light, right? Not on top of the bezel, on the body. I just want to hit it right around the edges, all right? And you could do this by hang it up, or you can just stand it on a surface and then just heat just the edges. And then you stop there, and then you do the other edges, right? And then you should get like roughly both part here to be the lighter blue-ish color, and then by this time you will have a darker purple color here. If you don't, you can run it over a little bit more, and then you get that purple color if it hasn't sucked up enough heat, if it doesn't draw enough heat to the center, it makes it turn purple because it was gold to start with. And by the time that happens, the midsection turns purple. The center, the section right here, which we never heated, will be gold because it was in a section that we heated in the beginning, so it will be the first color, right? So it's the intermediate transition portion that gets purple because we never heat it. It just receives heat from the midsection pulling outward and from the outer rim pulling inward. So it gets the first color, which is purple. And then you get the gold that turns into the purple with the heat on the outside going in, and then you get extra heat from the rim turning into blue. Whew. Okay, that's that. I don't know if I can say that again, but that's that, all right? And one other thing to notice, if you're going to do heated colors on anything, make sure to do the screws, otherwise it just won't look very nice, all right? So adding abrasions, in summary of all of this, adding abrasions to the surface of the metal or having the surface polish will bring out the colors vividly. Stainless will not bring out colors as nice as titanium. I don't know why. Okay, I guess it doesn't oxidize the same. I don't know. But I just know that titanium polish, mirror finished titanium surfaces will bring out colors really nicely. Stainless, okay. Stainless, you definitely gotta do some polishing if you want any colors. Otherwise, you're just gonna get a really dull, dark color. Heated colors, HC used to be DHT. But at the time when I started doing this, I'm not sure why I call it DHT. It doesn't make any sense now, but it used to be dark heat treatment. Does that make any sense? Not really. Dark heat treatment, because it makes the color darker. Because when I started this, the colors were really dark, and there weren't really a lot of colors. So I didn't really think of it as color. I was just thinking about heating it to make it darker, to make it more tactical, bezels more tactical. But now it just makes more sense to call this HC, which is heated colors, and AHC for abrasions or artistic heated colors. All right, so that's that. Okay, yeah, that's that. Super long video, I know, but you know me. Have a good night.